everybody, my name is Miranda, and today I am here to review the new ABC Family show, Stitchers, which premiered earlier this month. If you haven't seen the show yet, it's basically about a college graduate named Kirsten who has temporal dysplasia, which basically means that she doesn't have any concept of time, like an hour and a minute to her. She doesn't understand what time is, and she also isn't that great at expressing or understanding emotions. And this condition that Kirsten has makes her the perfect candidate for the Stitcher program, which she finds out is basically when you take someone's consciousness and insert it into a dead body's memories. Basically, by using this, they're able to find out where a person was when they died, how they died, what their last memories were, and it helps them to solve murders and unsolved cases. I really enjoy when Kirsten actually goes into the Stitcher program and is getting stitched into the memories, because they basically have to like lower her into this water tank, whatever, and she has her vitals monitored and everything. But I just like the contrast between seeing her in the memories and then seeing how it affects her in the real life, because her heart rate can spike if she's nervous, her brain temperature can spike really high if she's like under a lot of pressure, or if the memories are kind of all assaulting her at once. And it's really cool because it's one of those things that's obviously not going to be black and white, like you're not going to get a memory and be like, that's the guy that killed me. She kind of has to put together the clues of what she saw with the other members of the Stitcher team, whatever you want to call them. And I think it's really cool because it's going to be set up kind of like a crime procedural, where it's going to be a different person that they need to solve the murder every single week. And then the overlapping mystery for the first season, or maybe the first half of the season, I'm not sure how exactly it's supposed to play out, that the man who raised Kirsten was found dead in the pilot episode, and the police department ruled it as a suicide, but Kirsten thinks that he wouldn't kill himself and that he didn't kill himself, so she wants to stitch herself into his memories to figure out where he was at the time he died, and also see if he can tell her anything about her missing parents, because she doesn't know her dad or her mom at all. She just remembers her dad leaving and her mom is like a blank memory. So that's kind of the overarching mystery of this season. I have to say I'm really enjoying this series so far. There's only been 2 episodes so far, but from what we're seeing, I think it has potential to be really interesting and really intriguing. The whole big thing is, again, the lady who runs the stitching program. I still don't know if I can trust her or not. Like, just, she seems to have her own agenda that she doesn't want to share with anyone. And the thing I really like about Kirsten is that because she doesn't really understand emotions, doesn't really know how to like compute them or anything, she goes a lot of places that most people wouldn't. Like when people get scared or frightened, she doesn't back down. So I feel like that's going to put her in a lot of conflict with a lot of people, including the lady who runs the Stitcher program. But at the end of the day, I really like it because it's not one of those things where you're sitting at the TV screaming at the main character being like, stupid, why are you backing down? Just say something to her. Like, Kirsten actually goes for it and says it and is like, why are you doing this? I know this is some BS. I can see it from a mile away. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And Kirsten, like I said, because of the emotions, she just has like no filter. So I think the pilot episode was very like jarring to get used to a character that was just like almost unlikable in a way, just the things she said. But as we're progressing in the episode, and mostly in the second episode, we saw that she really does have like a deep heart. Like, it's almost like you thought that she just wanted to solve these mysteries to solve the mysteries, but she really cares for these people, I think, that she's helping through her stitching program. And I think there's a lot more to Kirsten than just this abrasive, no filter, says everything kind of girl, and I'm really interested to see where that's gonna go. And then also, I really like her team. I feel like they are a very good mix together, especially her and Kameron. I love her and Kameron so much. I think they're adorable together. We're getting into spoilers for the pilot, so if you haven't seen the pilot yet and you don't want to be spoiled, come back after you've seen it, because now we are getting to the spoilers. If you don't want to know what happens, just come back later, please. Because spoilers in the pilot with Kameron and Kirsten, I mean, it was obvious that they're kind of supposed to be the ship that we're rooting for, and I really do like them. It was just that scene where she got out and was so affected by the memory of seeing that guy and his fiance, girlfriend, whatever, like, intimate, that she like went over to him and like started trying to kiss him. I was like, this is so awkward, I can't watch that. Worst secondhand embarrassment of my life. I was like, oh, this, no, shut it down, please. But I mean, it makes sense, I guess, because the way Kirsten explained it and the way I understood it was, she said she wasn't upset when she saw her dead because to her, time doesn't exist. So the moment she saw that he was dead, in her mind, he had always been dead. Like, there wasn't a time period for her before that when he wasn't, because that's just how her mind computes things. So I feel like if she were to like see something like that, or if she were to get stitched into Cameron's memory or something and see like a vision of them kissing or something like that, to her I feel like her mind would just compute it as, oh, we're kissing, we're romantic, and then like she couldn't think of a time when they weren't romantic, even if they weren't in the present day, so then she just walked up and kissed him. But I was like, oh, secondhand embarrassment is kicking in so hard right now. I was like, I had to fast forward. I was like, I can't, and then apparently she passed out. I missed that part because I was just like, oh, throw the remote away, this is so embarrassing. But I think they're really cute together, and I like that she's the take charge one in the relationship with them when they go out to try and solve crime. She's the one that's like, we need to talk to this person right away, and they're like, well, you can't, and Kameron's like, okay, we'll come back later. She's like, no, now. And I just really like how their whole relationship works, because he's trying to like make her more open to talking and stuff, but then he also understands that like she doesn't get a lot of things and she doesn't have a filter. Like he could just be a real dick about that and be like, why are you saying all this stuff? Why are you being a bitch to me? But he understands that like to her, she just says what she feels. She can't understand that like it might offend someone, and then even when she does, she's not the best at apologizing to it. I really like their whole relationship, their whole dynamic, and I'm hoping that nothing bad is going to happen. I really do like the characters. I think obviously we just need a little more expansion for some of them, which worries me, because when you really like characters like Kameron and her roommate and that little guy that runs the communications, these motives have to be questioned in some way, I feel like, because there has to be drama for the show. So I'm like worried about what's gonna happen, like who's gonna be hurt, who's gonna be like, oh, can we trust them or something like that. But so far I'm really intrigued by the premise of the show. One of the things I really liked was, as far as I can tell, this wasn't based on a book, which I think is really interesting, because a lot of shows for young adults these days are standardly based on book series. I mean, we have The 100, Pretty Little Liars, Shadowhunters is coming, Vampire Diaries, and a lot of these take away from the books, obviously, but the books are still the source material, and I feel like this one would have been a really easy one just to rip off a book. I thought it was a book when I first heard about it, because it sounds so like sci-fi premise, you know, everything like that. But it's not based on a book. It's an original concept, and I really enjoy that for that simple reason. And like I said, it's just really interesting seeing how the stitching program works. I think there's a lot of interesting and intriguing questions and ways that this show can go, and I'm really interested to see what it is. And like I said, one of the things I'm most interested in is building Kirsten's character, so we see kind of her backstory, how she became the way she is, because we saw when she was a little girl, she felt fear really, really bad, like to the point where she was shaking and she just couldn't understand when Ed was saying there are no monsters under your bed. Like, she just believed in her head that there were monsters, and when she believes something, it's always been that way to her because of her condition. So I feel like building on her characters is going to be real interesting, and then of course her interactions with Kameron are going to be so amazing, because there's that whole secret thing with what happened with the girl that came before her, and it seems like Kameron was really close to her as well, but they kind of really didn't divulge or warn Kirsten about like what the side effects are, because that girl's in a coma now that we saw. Kameron knows about it. Kameron was obviously close to her. He's getting close to Kirsten, and yet he still doesn't feel the need to warn her that she could end up in a coma like that girl. He just says that she couldn't handle it, making it seem like she left or something like that. So I feel like it's going to be really interesting, set up a lot of conflicts. And like I said, Kirsten's someone who's not going to take that. Like, when she realizes they're hiding something from her, she's going to be like, what the heck are you hiding from me? Tell me now or I walk. And I really can't wait to see how that's going to go down. Sounds like we're going to be finding more about the previous girl in episode 4, so I'm really interested to see how that's going to happen, how Kameron's going to react to that, because I think he was definitely close with that girl, and he's definitely becoming close with Kirsten. So I feel like obviously he would want to warn her, but then I don't know if like his duty to the higher-ups in the Stitcher program outweighs that or something like that. So I'm really interested to see how this premise is going to play out. I really like it so far, and I'm interested to see where it's going to go. So if you have seen Stitchers, please feel free to leave your thoughts and comments about it down below in the comments. I can talk about it and fangirl about Kameron and Kirsten with more people, because oh my gosh, they are so adorable together. If you've seen the show, definitely leave a comment, and if you want to see more reviews of episodes of Stitchers, give this video a thumbs up and let me know down below in the comments. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!